Kilometer crochet, day 23, where I crochet one row every day to represent how many kilometers we drive during our van trip. So today is a very special day and you'll see why. We started off the day by reheating yesterday's gross leftover pasta. I added some chicken bouillon powder and some shredded cheese and it made it better, but I think I'll stick with my cream of chicken pasta instead. We then drove to the Sea to Sky gondola because we're going to ride it. Just kidding, we are picking up our friends that came to join us for a night from Vancouver. And there they come in all their glory. Beanie was excited too. We welcomed them into our van and they came bearing gifts. Woohoo! We packed everything away and then set off to Stawama's Chief, the big cliff that overlooks the city. And it's the hike to do here. Yona and Jelly have done this hike before, but it's our first time. We started the hike off with a lot of stairs. The stairs themselves were very steep and I felt the burn immediately. Yona struggled with me, but Rebecca and Jelly were fine. We soon made it past the stairs and onto the forest floor. We hiked up through the forest and saw a lot of cool things. There were many branches that have been rubbed smooth by everyone's hands, this random piece of wood that looks like a genie lamp, and a mushroom oozing some mushroom pee. Yum! Or no yum. Maybe about 2 hours later, we made it to the third peak. Our friends have been to the first peak and said this one was better, so we made a good choice today. We ate lunch and snacks at the top and it was pretty windy, thus colder than expected. So after eating, we laid on the rocks and rested because the rock was actually very warm. Also, this chipmunk was very brave. After that, we walked towards the second peak and I liked this one even better. It was cool that you could dangle your feet off the edge and also it was less windy. I'm glad we did this hike with Yona and Jelly because we like them. If we went with people we didn't like, we could have been pushed off, you know? Things to think about. Next, we tried taking the shortcut to the first peak, but there were multiple ladders, and though Beanie got around the first one with lots of encouragement, she really didn't want to go further, so we went back up. Sorry, Beanie, hope you're not traumatized for life. We made our way back down from where we came up. Beanie got some hand water. We sat at this rock tent for a bit. Yona and Jelly showed off their climbing skills, even though they didn't have mats, and we eventually got back to our van. We then stopped by an ice cream truck to get some ice cream, Jelly's idea, and then we drove to our sleeping spot. On the way, we saw some helicopters carrying water to put out the nearby wildfire. When we got there, we set up our spot and prepared dinner. I don't know why it's happening, but it seems like we're eating hot pot every time we meet up. I'm not mad about it. It's one of my favorite things to eat because I like soup and it's fun. After we ate, we cleaned up and hung out in the van before bed. So today we drove a total of 34 kilometers. So that would be 3 brown stitches and 97 white stitches to represent how many kilometers we drove today. See you next time on